So let's set up the detail view for each job so that we can see the details for a specific job posting. So the first thing we're going to do is create a view. So in views.py, we can go ahead and add another view here. So we can define it as job_detail, and it takes in the request. And this time it will also take in the primary key or the ID of that job posting so we know which one to display. And so sometimes you'll see PK being used, and sometimes you'll see ID. And generally they're both the same in Django's eyes. So we can just say PK, and this will be the primary key, so that ID that's auto-created and auto-incremented by Django. And then we can use this PK to get the job posting that we want to specify. So we can say job kind of posting equals job posting.objects.get. So this time we're using get. Before we used all to get all the objects, then we used filter to get a certain collection of them, and now we'll use get to get a single item, and we'll say PK equals PK. So we'll have this single job posting, and then we'll create a context variable so we can send it over to the template. So it's a dictionary, and we could say posting and has a value of job posting. And then we can return and render a template. It takes in the request. It takes in a job board/detail.html, which we still have to create. And then we can pass in the context. So let's go ahead and set up the URL now for this, so we know when this job detail view function should be triggered and fired. So go back to our URLs, and from .views we'll also import job detail, and then we'll go ahead and add another path, and this time it will be job/ and then we can pass in that PK, the ID of that job. So we can specify this as an integer, and then we can specify the name of this variable, and we passed it in as PK, and we have a trailing slash, and then we don't want to run index, we want to run job detail, and we can click save. And we can also add a name property here, a name parameter, so that when we reference this in the template, we don't have to hard code in this URL. We can just reference this name, and we can call this job/detail. Awesome. So now we have the URL, so when someone goes to mysite.com/job/some integer, we can run this job detail view, and if we want to reference this in the template or someplace, we can call it job detail. So if we wanted to change this to something like job-posting in the future, we could, and it wouldn't break all of our code. So the last thing we have to do is set up a template. So let's create a new file in our templates folder and call this detail.html. And we can set up a basic HTML file here, and we can just list out some of the details about this job posting. So we could have an li tag and say posting.title. We can have posting.company, posting.description. We can enter a horizontal rule here so it separates it a bit, and then we can have also up here the salary. Save this, and if our server is running still, we should be able to go back to our page website, refresh this, everything should work. Now if we go /job/1, we get this job posting 1. Company ABC Tech, $80,000. This is a great job. We can also update the code so that it shows if it's active or not. So we can say posting.isActive. We could say active. And now if we go back to our site and refresh this page, this job is false as being active. Now if we go to job posting 2, we get this is the software engineer job from Tech Solutions Company for $100,000 a year. It is true. And this description is to write clean code. Awesome. So now we're showing the details for each job posting. But what if we just typed in some crazy number like 100? Well, we get this error does not exist. And because in our view, if we go back to our views.py, right here, we're trying to get our job posting where that PK equals PK, and we don't have a job posting with the PK of 100. So in the next video, we're going to use a Django built-in solution that lets us more gracefully handle these errors. So I'll see you in the next video.